You can put that long in videos on Instagram?
Don't get him started. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Gospel Unplugged. My name is Pastor Cieslik, and today I am joined by
Pastor Olson, Popp.
And today the two of us will be saying all of the things about John the Baptist.
Yeah.
And we're going to be picking up where we left off during Christmas. In the weeks of Advent, we were making our way through the prologue of John's Gospel, and today we're picking up at verse 19. This is the testimony given by John when the Jews sent priests and Levites from Jerusalem to ask him, "Who are you?" He confessed and did not deny it, but confessed, "I am not the Messiah." And they asked him, "What then? Are you Elijah?" He said, "I am not." "Are you the prophet?" He answered, "No." Then they said to him, "Who are you? Let us have an answer for those who sent us. What do you say about yourself?" John said, "I am the voice of one crying out in the wilderness, 'Make straight the way of the Lord,' as the prophet Isaiah has said." Now they had been sent from the Pharisees, and they asked him, "Why then are you baptizing if you are neither the Messiah, nor Elijah, nor the prophet?" John answered them, "I baptize with water. Among you stands one whom you do not know, the one who is coming after me. I am not worthy to untie the thong of his sandal." This took place in Bethany, across the Jordan, where John was baptizing. Okay. So, kind of a interesting story, fun little vignette. John has been drawing a crowd, and the people in power are curious. Who the heck is this guy?
Mm-hmm.
And
why is he baptizing?
And he's cagey.
We know a lot of what John is not.
Right.
But it's kind of, up in the air of what he is.
And in some ways, there is a tradition in theology of defining yourself by what you're not. That kind of rules some things out. So he is not the Messiah.
Nope.
He's not the one that they are waiting for. He is not Elijah, one of the big heavy hitters of the faith. One person that they are still expecting to return. Mm-hmm. Elijah was taken up into the clouds, and so there is the expectation that Elijah may come back. And so he, by the influence and crowd that he's drawing, they start to wonder, well, maybe this is Elijah. John says no. And then, are you a prophet? Are you another person who has a special conduit to God and God's word, and is a spokesperson for God? And he's like, no, not that either.
But what does he say?
And they are frustrated. So he quotes a prophet.
Yep.
But it seems to point to something else, to someone else. And I guess that's sort of all we get out of John in John's gospel, right?
Yeah. I think when these aren't John, this gospel writer John's words, but we often think of John the Baptist as a witness, as someone who points to Jesus, who makes straight the way of the Lord, who is preparing the way. And that's something that always strikes me about John, is he always comes before Jesus. He even says, among you stands one whom you do not know, the one who is coming after me. And so how do you point to something or someone who's coming after you?
Yeah.
What does it mean to be a witness to something that hasn't even happened yet? He's like not necessarily an eyewitness account yet. He will become that, but I don't know. It's just
that's a really interesting thing to think about, and I think there's something in John that maybe is helpful for us, is that he has some knowledge, some encounter, something that makes him feel as though he has something to say, but he doesn't have the complete and total picture.
Yeah.
And also recognizes that whatever it is that he is doing, or whatever it is that God is doing in and through him, is only a partial piece of what's about to unfold. And so I think for us, maybe there's something in that we get to point to some of the good things that God is doing in our midst, some of the work that God is doing in and through us, but it is only part of the picture, which feels helpful, maybe, for John, for us, it's not all up to us. There's somebody who's coming again after us.
Yeah. And I think it's a good reminder after Christmas. We've just experienced the celebration, the incarnation, the Word made flesh. It's here. And now what?
Right.
And I think John gives us a model. It's like, okay, continue to point to this incarnation that is coming. Prepare to, continue to make straight the way of this Lord who is still coming, even on the 26th of December, on the 27th, on the 28th. This is what we're doing even after Christmas.
It's the weird tension of faith in that you say, what we celebrate on Christmas, that everything is fundamentally different. And yet as you take down your tree, as I take
at
down
the
my
end
tree,
of January,
you will not be taking down your tree for many more weeks. But as you start to move on, you look around and things aren't fundamentally different. And so you live with that tension of the promise of God breaking into our midst, changing, reorienting, joining our lives together forever. And yet still we open the newspaper, see what's going on, and it's still hard and heavy. And so how do we move forward for the next day?
Yeah. A couple questions.
Sure.
We'll see what comes. You have witnessed the light of the world coming into the world. You may have celebrated it with us on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. Where does that lead you now? Where are you led? What does that mean for you in the way that you live differently, the way that God is acting in the world? Just reflect on that. How can this incarnation, the promise that is true on Christmas, be true every day and lead you forward just as it led John? And then what, maybe even more tangibly, what does it look like to point to Christ? What does it look like to be a witness to what God is doing in the world? What does it look like to make straight the way of the Lord and to prepare for God's activity in the world? What does that look like in your day-to-day life, at work, in the car, with your kids and your family? What is John calling us into?
I think that's helpful. I think there's, we're invited to humility about that task. John, for all his peculiarities, there is kind of a humbleness in this account that he knows who he's not, and still raises his voice and trusts God to work in and through that beyond what he can see or know the fullness of. So love that. Thanks for joining us on this Boxing Day, and we'll see you in church on Sunday.